So remember the guy that said that he had a knife that was broken? This is him. And here's his next comment. He says he doesn't know how to email, which is why he can't send me the picture. I'm assuming he doesn't know how to mail because he could send the knife back. So I think we all know now that this is just something he thought would be funny or maybe made him feel good. I don't know. You know, sometimes when people are so bizarre, are so filled with a character or a personality trait that is inherently evil and not understandable to most of us, because most of us don't have that in us. Sometimes you just have to recognize it for the evil that it is and move on. And I believe this is one of those times. He did send another comment. Okay, here he says he doesn't know how to email. But on his original video, the original comment on the video where he said his knife broke, he added another comment saying that he emailed me a picture of the knife. So, what is it? You don't know how to email, or you've emailed me? So there's no doubt that this is one of them people. And I am not going to lose any sleep over this or devote any more of my time to it. But I have encountered these people a time or two in my past. And y'all remember the guy that actually did buy a knife from me and immediately started bad-mouthing the knife, even though I immediately offered him a full refund, including the postage. So I just, you know, you can sit here all day and try to just wonder what makes these people tick. What is it that this does for them? That man who bought that knife spent, you know, $15? I can't remember what back then what I charged for the knives. So he spent money in order to do what this guy's done. This guy didn't even go to the trouble of buying a knife. Anyway, moving on. You can never, if you're not an evil human, you can't possibly figure what this does for them. So I'm going to stop. I'm not even going to block him or remove his comments. It's just part of what should be out there and people should see. And you know, this is what normal people are up against in your daily life, is people like this who have serious mental defects. And, you know, you work with them. You might marry them. You might live with them. You might have a child like this. These people are driving around us with these deeply rooted mental issues. And, you know, you just have to realize that and be careful. And I'm writing a poem. I'm gonna read you what I got. Now, this is just, see, this is a whole bunch of scribbling and marking out. So I'm just gonna read you what I've got, and over time I will refine it. And it's nowhere near finished. So here we go. I'm on a high-speed world with my horse-drawn soul, on a runaway train gone out of control. Okay, boomer is what I'm often told, but it's too late for them because their future's been sold. The horror in the cities is a daily occurrence. Laws and morals are no longer a deterrence. They extract their taxes, and we let them taking, to supply the arms for the world war in the making. Our dollar buys less with every tick of the clock. We've grown to expect it now. It's no longer a shock. For the young, there's no hope. The economy is slowed, and a fool in the White House has just learned to code. Build back better, he said in his speech, but for most, the dream will remain out of reach. Controlled by Big Pharma and the industrial complex, they'll turn a blind eye in return for those checks. And that's not even finished. I may work on it today. Don't know what I'm going to do today. My wife and I were talking. This is strictly my personal belief here. Stuff like this, what I've showed you, and the little thing this caused within me, which I'm sure he's happy, and I'm sure this is exactly what he wanted, was to make me unhappy or question the pleasure I get from making knives, or to put a big dent in the pleasure I get from making knives. I'm sure that's what this guy's motivation was. And if you're a Christian, this guy may not even realize it, but if you're a Christian, who do you think this guy's working for? What side do you think he's on? And those who are not Christians will laugh at my silly notion, my silly thought. But I'm sorry for you. And those of you that are Christians, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So my wife and I were talking this morning. We talked for about 2 hours about this. And you may not think this if you're not a Christian. If you are a Christian and you are current on the news and the world, and you have an eye on the decay that we have all seen, especially if you're a boomer or, middle-aged or older, you've even seen these changes in your life. How much longer do you think we can go like this? How much longer before our society is in complete and total disarray? I'm not going to say much more because the YouTube algorithm will start focusing on me. But all I'm going to say is stay prayed up. And time that we know, time that we have known all our lives, I think we're going to be seeing major changes. And the thing is, I used to think we would see these changes overnight. But look at today, and then think back 40 years and how slow and incremental these changes have been. So I don't think the changes that we are in store for, we will see quickly, although it does seem to be speeding up in my mind. But 40 years ago, we didn't have people walking around in, men walking around in dresses. Let me tell you something. See, this is a thing that we're not supposed to talk about, or your channel will be canceled. The other day I was in the post office, and there's this man. Now, I live in a town of 2,100 people. So this is how prevalent this has become. There was a man in the post office in front of me. A man, hairy legs, cowboy boots, wearing a pretty little denim dress and a wig, carrying a purse. Big hairy arms, big hairy legs, cowboy boots, wearing a denim dress, carrying a purse. And I am not joking. And the thing is, he smelled so bad that it almost made you want to vomit. And the lady behind the counter, she actually had to step back because the guy stunk so bad. B.O., body odor, not bathing. So mental issues, walking mental issues are everywhere. And it's growing quickly. So, this is not the channel to talk about this kind of stuff on, because they will sure enough shut you down. And I'm only showing you this because this is what I think everybody should be doing, is preparing. And I don't even know what for at this point, If you are a Christian and you believe in the rapture, then officially nothing will happen to you. If you're a mid-trib rapture believing person, then you believe some bad things will happen to you. If you're a post-trib rapture believing person, then you believe you'll go through the 7 years of bad times. And then, And some don't believe in rapture at all. And I'm not saying what I believe, because quite honestly, I'm not sure. And don't bother trying to convince me. I have a Bible, and I can read the parts you're going to point me to that say there's a rapture. But keep in mind, this Bible has been distorted and translated, and, if you want to believe in the rapture, I will not stop you. I won't encourage you. I won't stop you. I won't deter you. I won't convince you, and I don't want you to do that to me. We are all on our own path in this life, and we all come to our own realizations in our own time with information we have garnered. So don't bother. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This guy with a broken knife is absolutely full of it. And I feel sorry for him, because he certainly didn't dent the pleasure I get out of making knives. And I was sitting here thinking about this knife. This is for sale, by the way. I don't think anybody would buy a sharpfinger with the intentions of not using it, because it's one of them knives that you would use. So I think unless somebody specifies a mirror polished knife, I'm going to start making all my knives satin finished, because this is a knife that most people would buy with the intention of using. I don't think did I show the sheath yet? I think I did. Anyway, so I have a knife down there that I'm working on, and 400 is the next grit. And then heat treating and tempering, and then sanding it off with 400 and putting 600 on it as the last grit. And so I think I'm going to make that a satin finish knife with just a nice handle. I don't think I'm going to use my last piece of pretty desert ironwood burl on it. And because I'm going to save that for a mirror polish knife. But I have a nice piece of redwood lace. Just beautiful wood, especially when you polish it up. So I am going to use that on the knife. Alrighty, that's all for me. Have a good Sunday, y'all. You want to see what's in the bag? Do you? I know you do. I'm letting my air conditioner cool the knife shop down. So I'm in here. This air conditioner cools this down pretty quick. Let me open this door, see if my dog's ready to come in. There he is. I knew you were out there. Well, I sure do miss you when you're not here. You know that? I can't even go to town without thinking about you. What is going to happen to me when you die, huh? I'm just going to die right there beside you. Lay down there next to you and have me a heart attack. I want you to go lay down. Go lay down. So, Oh, that knife I just showed you, it's sold. The one at the house. So, two things. Absolute crap. Not for use on leather. Absolutely not for use on leather. And what am I going to do with 6 tubes of that crap now? So here we go. That's the stuff you're supposed to use right there. Okay, I got 2 colors that I haven't tried before. This is called Russet. And they've started putting these stupid do not drink or throw in the fire for stupid people. Do not use hair dryer in bathtub. So these 2 colors I've not tried before. And also, I'm going to start making smaller holes. So I bought some 2mm stitching forks, some thinner thread, and some thinner needles. I've been looking at some of the other knife makers. Actually, what I look at is the knife makers. I'm sorry, I keep saying knife makers. They're leather workers, and they make sheaths for other people's knives. And I just admire their stitching. I mean, my stitching has really improved, but I can't seem to get to that wow point, like when I look at their sheaths. And I think I've discovered one of the problems, one of the differences between my sewing and their sewing is they're using much thinner thread than me, and their stitches are closer together. And this is a 4mm. It's very thick, and for this is a 2mm here, and this is a 4mm. So I think it's going to make a difference in the looks. And I bought a couple of, let me see if I can open this with one hand. I can't, so I'll tear into it. There we go. Bought a couple of, this I don't have. That's pretty neat, and that will just help. I bought a big star, and my intention is like where my tooling comes up to the sheath and then takes a right and goes across. At the corner, there's no way to transition whatever stamp I'm using without making it look kind of like that's what I did. So if you stop it against something like that and then continue on the other way, that's my intention for that. Or use this. That's not too girly looking. So I've got a knife in the shop on the, I think I already told you. I'm just bringing that up to satin finish. I've got this here, and I'm probably going to end up making, this is where I put all these, and I've got some that won't fit, and I've got others in other areas stashed away that I don't use regularly because there's not a lot of room here. So I think I'm going to make just a 4x4 block of wood with just a whole bunch of 1/4 inch holes in it, and some of them are bigger than 1/4 inch. So I'll use bigger drill bit. But they wanted $70 for a really nice piece of wood. I mean, it was nice. It didn't look like a 4x4, which is all I'm going to use. But, you know, I don't need nothing like that. I just need something with a bunch of holes in it that'll hold all these where I can look at them and see what I want to use. So that's all I'm going to do out here. I'm going to put my die up, and I am going to cut a sharpfinger sheath out. And by the time I get it cut out and go back to my other shop, it'll probably be cooled down enough. It's going to be, I believe, 106 degrees today. That's just unbelievable. You know, 106 for the next 2 or 3 days, and we just don't have this kind of weather. Okay, it's your turn. So, what do you think? That's not too girly, is it? I got this little thing I wanted to try for the corners of my sheath, and I think that looks okay. It's just one little, this is on the back, nobody will see that. So just one little flower. Surely a man can live with one little flower on his knife sheath. Okay, I said I was just going to get it started, but I lied. Have you heard the song by Oliver Anthony? And the song is titled Rich Men North of Richmond. Richmond, Virginia, just north of Richmond, Virginia, of course, is D.C. and Arlington, and where all the very, very, very wealthy, elite, connected politicians and their various people that surround them. Anyway, he sang a song, and it's within a few days. Now, this is a total unknown. This is a guy who wrote a song, recorded it outside in his backyard with 2 dogs, one laying on each side of him, and it's #1 on iTunes, and I'm part of that. I bought it, and you need to listen to that song. It's called Rich Men North of Richmond, and listen to it over and over. He's got a heavy West Virginia accent, and it took a little while to figure all the words out, but one of them is really funny. He said, I wish politicians would care more about miners instead of miners on an island. And it took me a second to realize what he was talking about. Remember that island over there that a certain person got arrested for having minors on and then suicided himself in jail. Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a whole lot to that I could put in a poem, but if you think we are living in a world where we have any control and our vote means, anything at all, you have the wool pulled over your eyes. And look at all the people surrounding the Clinton cartel. I swear I'm going to end up getting my channel kicked off just for talking about things that they don't want us to talk about. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this. What the hell, I'm here. I got plenty of time because when I put the last grit of sanding on that other sharpfinger, that's it. It gets heat treated and goes in the tempering oven for a couple hours. And that's it for my day. I can't do anything else till it cools down. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this since I'm here. The dog's here. The air conditioning's working. Let's pick some colors out. Let's see. My wife says I do the same colors all the time. And it's true because I like the same colors. So let's go a little bit lighter than I usually go. Let's go with beige for the main color. And then for a fade, we'll go with a slightly darker brownish. Let's try tan. Two very simple colors. I'm gonna get my dye on, and then I gotta fold this over and sew, and I think I'm gonna, for the first time, use my, where did I put them? I just had them. Oh, here they are. My new thread, my thinner thread, and my thinner stitching forks, and thinner needles too. All right, I'll get this dyed, and I'll show you what I got. All right, the darker areas, they will lighten up, but I have found that the areas where I stamp tend to take the longest to dry out and the color to even out. But that's going to be the lighter color of my fade, and when I fold it, it lightens up even more. I'll show you. See? So the darker areas are even, I'm gonna do my fade around the edge with the darker dye. But right now what I'll do is wet this down the center and wet it here down the center so I can fold it and put my webbing in there and clamp it, my rubber cement, and clamp it, and then give it about half an hour or so, and it'll be ready to sew. So I'm gonna get that done, and I'm gonna go to my other shop, drink me a Mountain Dew, and then get that thing sanded and ready for the heat treating forge. So I'll have a lot done today. It's here, it's here, it's here. That is 12 feet of grade A knife making steel. I got 8 feet of 1/8 inch and 4 feet of 3/16 by 5 inches wide. And then it's here, it's here, it's here. My brand new polishing wheels. This is the rough, the coarse. And apparently they sent this doodling paper in I can't pronounce that word. All right, I'm gonna drink a Coke, and by that time that sheath will be ready to sew. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my fade, and then I'll come back out here, finish sanding that knife right there, and it's getting this wood right here. That's gonna be just beautiful wood, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, but that won't get put on till probably tomorrow because It'll take the rest of the day to get that sanded up, heat treated in the tempering oven, and that will probably be my day. I do have to make a dinner skinner for somebody. I'm trading a dinner skinner for a very large, I think it's a 30,000 BTU, freestanding propane heater. And I was talking earlier about being prepared for whatever, because God only knows what is in store for us. And all you gotta do is look around, and you know that something's gonna change drastically probably soon. Because how long can the world keep going like this? We are on the edge. We are on the edge of a world war, and we are on the edge of a financial collapse in our country, because the rest of the world, I'm not going to say every little country, but the important countries financially to us are going to BRICS. I think it's the 11th. What is today? Hold on. I don't even know what the day is. Maybe it's the 23rd. Yesterday was the 11th, Friday. Today is Saturday. You'll see this Sunday. So, I don't know. And, all the financial prognosticators are saying that it's going to drastically and immediately affect our dollar. So, that's kind of why I went ahead and spent my knife money. And I sold 2 knives. That is $285, and this was the rest of it here. So, and I got leather, I got dye, probably good steel-wise, leather-wise for, a year. Because I ordered 16 feet a year ago, and I got 2 more pieces left. I've got about 2 feet of 1/8 inch and 2 feet of 3/16 left, and that was a lot of knives. All right, drink my Coke, do my fade. I actually sew it, do my fade, and then the sheath is done. Then I'm going to come out here and finish that knife. Sorry I'm talking so much. Most people don't stay this long, and I don't blame you. Unless I'm sitting somewhere like this, I don't really listen to a whole lot of talking videos. I do listen to them when I'm out here, though, because I set my phone right here, and I plug it in right there, and then I listen to it on that. And that's Bluetooth, and that is loud enough for me to hear over any machine I got in here. Okay, no knife yet, but there's the sheath. I do like the lighter colors. For some reason, my wife just does not like my fades. And I really like my fades. I like doing the fades. I like the way they look when they're done. And I just cannot make her a fan of the fades. But, and this will lighten up a little bit. I just finished this, so this will be a much lighter fade here in a few hours. But that's not bad, and I like that color. That's a nice color. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go into the knife shop, get that knife sanded up to a good satiny finish, and then heat treat it and temper it, get it in the oven, and that will be my day. I have some sad news. The Bobcat, my friend with the Bobcat's name was Rogue. I'll tell you the story briefly. His wife was a vet tech, and the mama of these Bobcats was run over, and these kittens, not, still too young to be taken from their mama. These Bobcat kittens were brought to the vet where his wife was a vet tech. Well, one of them, I understand, went to a zoo, and the other, they were going to put it down because it was deaf and it had seizures. So his wife, the vet tech, said, "Oh no, you didn't." And she brought the Bobcat home, and that Bobcat was just like a house cat. It played with the dogs, it laid up in the bed, it loved on them like a cat would. And it was, anyway, the Rogue has passed away. 6 years, and that's a long time for cat that had seizures, and the medicine the cat was on to prevent the seizures. Most cats don't live but 2 or 3 years on that medicine. And this bobcat had a very good, safe, healthy, loved life, and they gave that bobcat a good life. And I'm real sorry the bobcats passed on, and to my friends who had the bobcat, I know how deeply in your heart these four-legged animals can get, and I'm real sorry for your loss. You know, I just realized something. I picked this up way up at my mailbox, and I put it up on my shoulder, and I walked a long ways with it on my shoulder back to my shop. And as I got closer to my shop, this got heavier and heavier and heavier. So I'm thinking that gravity is increased in my shop area. As I get closer to my shop, the gravity increases. That's what I think. Here's the shameful and embarrassing part. Was a lady FedEx driver that delivered this, and she picked this up and tossed it around like it wasn't nothing. And me, I could barely get it up on my shoulder to get it down here. All right, I got that stainless steel tube in there. We're going to see for the first time if this is going to work the way I hope it will. I can already see it getting red, so probably going to take about 10 minutes to bring it up to temperature.